All right, today's the day. And I was sitting here and I remember a story from a while ago. So I want to say it was 2007. I could be a little off with that, but around that time, I was working, and at the time, I had at least 20 years into my industry, and I was married, and I had a business. I've always had a business since I was like 16, but normally I had the business and two other jobs most of my life, or so at least something like that, right? Um, so although I was married, I was working, and this time I was only working one job, but I was running two different businesses. So one job, two different businesses working. And at first, I made more money than my ex, and then he started making more money than I made, which was like great. So now we're at a point where you can support the household and I can do my businesses full time. And that was our plan. So I gave my notice at my job and was like all in for my business. And probably a month, could be a little off on the dates. I would really have to check my diary for that. But anyway, let's just say a month, whatever the time frame was, I found out that he was basically a charlatan. I mean, I already knew some things, but things came to a light to where our relationship was definitely going to be over. I always knew our relationship wasn't going to last, but I thought I had a little bit more time. And so, anyway, um, so that relationship started crumbling. And then all of a sudden, I'm left with nothing but the money I had saved, which fortunately enough for me, a coworker has said years before that always save, have 6 months of income to live off of. But I was left with the income I had saved, and yes, I had invested some money and things of that nature, but now he's gone, and I have to take everything, and all I have is my business that I literally just was sinking money into. It was new. My other businesses had been established longer, but they weren't bringing in the income that I needed to sustain my house and everything else. So I said, okay, I'll go get a PRN job or a part time job. And that way I can still do my businesses because I knew my businesses could bring in a decent amount of money. And I did. I went back into my field at a PRN job while I navigated this whole divorce and all of that kind of stuff and then move on. And I was really upset and embarrassed by the fact that I had put my trust in him to make my dream become a reality. Because prior to that month, I had spent so many years helping make other people's dreams a reality. And I thought, this is my time. Somebody else is going to do what I've done, and they're going to make my dream a reality. And the lesson was, I'm the only one who can make my dream a reality. I'm the only one who can do that. And I'm the only one who's responsible for that. No shade against him and his life, because I am gifted. I knew, as a matter of fact, I remember having this little conversation with God, like, why I really want to be with him. Why? When I knew that it wasn't, I mean, I knew in the beginning, but, it wasn't really his fault that my business and my dreams weren't real the way I needed them to be. It was the fact that I was waiting and trusting someone else to do what only I had the ability to do. Waiting for someone else to support me on the level that I had supported so many other people. And that's just not my life. My life is not really that other people have the resources. I have the resources. I have the mental capacity to do different things. And mind you, that business that I left to start did end up being really successful, making money, doing really well. I had people who were able to work for me. It was, really a good thing. But then I got sucked into the trap of going back into my industry because it was like, well, I can make that money and this money, and now I'm going to bump up that much more, and I'm use that to invest because I used to also have vending machines. I could buy some more of this, and you know, long story short, what I learned from that moment was that if I have a dream, I am responsible for bringing that dream to reality. I am responsible for doing whatever it takes. And I can't rely on someone else. Even if there's someone else there, I have to make sure that I use what's within me to actually bring it to reality. And then, of course, that's what I started doing later. And then, I did some other things, but chase money, which was good. I made money, but I wasn't living my dream completely. I was always just part time in my dream, just always, you know, let me go help somebody else. But I have to help myself. And that's what I want to share with you. Help yourself. Make your dreams a reality. Yes, you can help other people, but if you're not living this life so that you can be happy with what you've done when it's over, then you're wasting time, right? And it's not to say that what you've done thus far hasn't been good. It may have been, but if you have some other things that you want to bring yourself joy, go for that. Okay? Just my little word for today. Bye.